Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all. Kelly, I didn't see you this morning. Great to have all of you joining us this morning. Thank you so much for taking the time. And welcome to the 57th Annual General Meeting of ATCO. It's hard to believe, 57 years. So many familiar faces, and I appreciate you all taking the time. Just a housekeeping item, in case of an emergency, we are supposed to exit through the foyer doors here and then out to 9th Avenue, and the mustering point is at the Marriott Hotel lobby. But I don't expect we're going to have an emergency. As we commence our meeting today, I would like to acknowledge the traditional territories and the homelands of which ATCO's operations and facilities are located. We truly honor and respect the elders past and present, their diverse history, their languages, ceremonies, and the culture of the First Peoples of Canada. And today we're gathered on the ancestral home of Treaty 7. And this includes the Blackfoot Confederacy, composed of Siksika, Piikani, and the Kainai Nations, the Stoney Nakoda, including Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley Nations, and the Tsuut'ina Nation. We are also home here in Calgary to Métis Nations of Alberta, Districts 5 and 6. And I would like to especially welcome, and it is such a great honor. Now, I don't see where you are, Chief. Very, very pleased that you would join us today from Siksika. Chief Crowfoot, thank you very, very much for joining us. I'd also like to take a few moments to acknowledge several other great friends and share owners and special guests that are here today. Emile was the first that I saw coming in, and Emile, it feels like your family for us today. I'm not sure how many, where is Emile? Right there in front of me. I'm not sure how many AGMs you've been to, but it's quite a lot, and thank you very much for your support. Bill Maniluk is here. Now, Bill, he told me I have to tell him or sell him on owning shares. Bill's come to our meetings quite often. And Bill, they're on sale right now, so. Norm and Sharon, great to see you back. We missed you last year, but it's great to have you back again. And Tony and Nellie from Ontario are joining us for the first time. But Tony, where are you, Tony? Right there. Tony's been a share owner with us for 40 years. So thank you so much for your support and trust. And Andrew, I look forward to your questions always.
Over here this year.
Okay. Good to see you. Thank you very much. I'd also like to make mention that Jay Scott and Elaine are here. And thank you so much for coming. It's been too long. Jay actually was my boss for my very first job in ATCO. And he was heading up all of the international operations for ATCO, particularly in Saudi Arabia at the time, and spent a lot of time overseas. And Elaine, thank you for your support in all of Jay's endeavors. Did a terrific job. And Michael Shaw is here, the former president, retired president of ATCO Structures. Great to see you and have you back. Thanks so much. And Sid Kiefer, my good friend and buddy. Great to have you here as well. And I'd also like to mention Honorary Director Baz French and his wife Anne, who just made it in under the wire this morning. Where are you, Baz? Over there. Good to see you. My cousin Donna Wood is here, and her father was the former CEO of Canadian Utilities. Great to have you here. And I want to say a special hi, and I'm so glad you made it. You also made it just in under the wire, Mum, Mark Southern. But good to have you here. At the outset, I want to acknowledge the terrific group of partners, of the people of ATCO, past and present. And most importantly, you, our share owners. Thank you so much for your patience, your support, and your trust in our businesses. I know that our share price has been less than sterling as of late, but your trust and support has been critical in enabling us all to concentrate on our long-term vision, notwithstanding the temporary economic and geopolitical uncertainty that is amongst all of us. In all of the markets that we serve, where the economy is largely driven by the resource industries and commodity prices, there are inherent cycles of growth and decline. And that's something that we in Alberta have often experienced. It is not a stranger. The cycles of the economy are not strangers to us. But presently, with much credit due to one of our directors, Jason Kenney, the former premier of the province, Alberta is undergoing an extraordinary expansion. And that's on several fronts. Our businesses, the ATCO businesses, are the bedrock of this growth. And as Alberta continues to outperform our neighbors to the east and the west, we're committed to delivering sustainable value to our share owners and ensuring that our trust, your trust in us, remains well-founded. We are extremely excited about the future. And I look forward to you hearing about a part of our journey from these terrific executives here. You'll hear more from them this morning. I will move to the formal part of the business, the meeting today, and then after presentations from our executives, I'll open up the floor for any questions or comments that you might have. And joining me on the dais today is Katie Patrick, our Executive Vice President, Chief Financial and Investment Officer. And Katie's also the Chief Investment and Financial Officer for Canadian Utilities. Adam Beattie, President of ATCO Structures. Bob Myles, Chief Operating Officer, ATCO EnPower. Wayne Stensby, Chief Operating Officer of Energy Systems, ATCO Energy Systems. And Kyle Brenner, who's our Senior Vice President, General Counsel, and Corporate Secretary. We do have several officers of your corporation with us today as well, and all of our directors standing for election are here today as well. And I'll ask Kyle Brunner to be our secretary for this year's meeting. Jennifer Villarreal and Christine Calesso of TSX Trust. Oh, and Richard is here as well from TSX. Our registrar and transfer agent will act as the scrutineers for this meeting. The scrutineer has advised us that there's a quorum present, and so I declare this meeting regularly called and properly constituted for the transaction of business. I will remind you that only the Class 2 voting shares and the holders of valid proxies of those shares are entitled to vote on the business meeting this morning. For those shareholders who are entitled to vote and have not yet voted, you should have received a ballot when you registered at the front on your way into the meeting. If you're a shareholder or duly appointed proxy holder who submitted voting instructions in advance, your vote has already been registered and is counted in the transfer agent's report that she will be providing to us this morning. Has anybody who has voting shares not received a ballot or not provided a proxy for the transaction of business today? Because we can bring a ballot to you. Anybody missing one? No. Good. Okay. When the scrutineers tabulate the votes, as I mentioned, Kyle will announce the results at the end of the official meeting. And in order to expedite matters, we do have members of the ATCO family who are duly appointed proxy holders or share owners to move and second the motions. And first, I wish to table the corporation's consolidated financial statements along with the auditor's reports for the year ended December 31st, 2023. The next item is to proceed with the election of directors as proposed in the management proxy circular. All the nominees are currently directors of the corporation, and their detailed biographies are contained in the management proxy circular. And so the meeting is now open for nominations for directors.
I'm Jim Landon, President of ATCO Frontec, and I have been with the corporation for 7 years and am a proud share owner. I nominate for election as directors of the corporation Robert Booth, Jason Kenny, Robert Routs, Nancy Southern, Linda Southern-Hefkett, Norman Steinberg, Roger Irwin, and Susan Worth.
Thank you very much, Mr. Landon. Jim is retired colonel from the British military and is an outstanding executive. And as you'll remember, last year we talked about ATCO Frontec winning the North Warning System contract, along with our 51% partner, Pan-Arctic Inuit Logistics Corporation. And I know that you're mobilized and ready to take on the massive project of modernization right across the Arctic for our radar systems. Are there any other nominations from the floor? If not, may I have a motion to elect those nominated directors?
I'm Becky Penrice, Executive Vice President, Corporate Services, and I've been with the company for 4 years, and I am a proud share owner. I move that the 8 persons nominated be individually elected as directors of the corporation until the next annual general meeting or until such time as their successors are elected or appointed.
Thank you very much, Becky. And Becky, as the Executive Vice President, Corporate Services and Chief Administration Officer, Becky, I want to compliment you and thank you on behalf of all share owners for the extraordinary, tireless work you've done on streamlining our processes within our group of companies, making us a lot more flexible and even more efficient than we've been in the past. May I have a seconder for the motion, please?
I'm Colin Jackson. I'm Senior Vice President of Finance, Treasury, and Sustainability. I've been with the corporation for 11 years, and I'm also a proud share owner. I second the motion.
Thank you very much, Colin. That's quite a handle that Colin has. But I do, I do commend you to Colin's responsible work on our sustainability report, which you can get in the foyer and get copies of, as well as the management's discussion and analysis, the MD&A. May I have a motion to appoint the auditor, please?
I'm Rob Routs, Lead Director of ATCO. I've been on the board now for 12 years and I'm a proud share owner. I move that PricewaterhouseCoopers Chartered Accountants be appointed auditor of the corporation to hold office until the next annual meeting of shareholders.
Thank you, Dr. Routs. Dr. Routs also sits on our behalf on Neltume, our investment in the ports business. May I have a seconder, please?
Thank you very much. I'm Norm Steinberg. I'm a director and I'm chair of the Audit and Risk Committee, and I've been on the board for 2 wonderful years, and I'm a very proud share owner. So I second the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steinberg. And Norm, you have provided our management team and worked on behalf of shareholders, giving us terrific insight and counsel. Thank you so much. I would now ask scrutineer to bring forward their report so that we may declare the voting results. Thank you. And Kyle, would you proceed reading the results, please?
With respect to the election of directors, the scrutineer has reported that shareholders voted in favor of the election of each nominee director.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to our Board of Directors. On behalf of all share owners and our management team, I want to thank you so much for your great counsel and the dedicated work that you bring to our businesses. It's really terrific. You are a great group of directors. Please proceed, Kyle.
With respect to the appointment of PricewaterhouseCoopers as the corporation's auditor for the ensuing year, the scrutineer has reported that shareholders voted in favor of the motion.
I declare the motion passed then. Thank you very much, Kyle. And I'll introduce you to Courtney Cola and Susanna Coburn, representing Pricewaterhouse. Great to have you here with us today. And that concludes the formal part of our business. So I propose that we bring this part of our meeting to an end. May I have a motion, please?
Good morning. I'm Derek Cook, Senior Vice President and Controller. I've been with the corporation for 23 years, and I'm a very proud share owner. I move that this meeting be terminated.
Thank you very much, Derek. Pulling together all of the numbers from across all of the businesses. It's hard to believe it's 23 years. Thank you. May I have a seconder, please?
Good morning. My name is Rebecca Kalmakoff. I'm Senior Vice President Controller of ATCO Structures and been with the corporation for 14 years. I am a very proud share owner. I second the motion.
You only look like you're 14.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Great. Anybody contrary-minded? I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the formal part of our business to be conducted at this annual general meeting. And so I do declare it terminated. Now, if you have attended our annual general meetings in the past, you might notice that the stage here has a few new faces. And over the past year, we have enhanced our growth plans to deliver significantly improved market capitalization and provide you, our share owners, with consistent and growing returns. But that is not without making sure that we continue to deliver for our customers and our communities at the same time. And on society's most pressing issues, the people of your company are already taking a leadership role. Indigenous relationships and reconciliation, energy and housing. Reflecting the strategic focus, we have invited 4 of your company's top executives to provide brief presentations for you this morning so that you get a better understanding of our path forward and all of the great initiatives that we have been undertaking. Katie Patrick, as I mentioned, is your Executive Vice President, Chief Financial and Investment Officer. And Adam Beattie is responsible as President of ATCO Structures for leading our workforce housing, space rentals, and permanent modular construction that you'll hear more about today, as well as manufacturing of our modular products around the world. Bob Myles, recently appointed as Chief Operating Officer ATCO EnPower, is responsible for our renewables business, clean fuels, storage, and energy operations in Canada and in Mexico. And Wayne Stensby, Chief Operating Officer of ATCO Energy Systems, oversees our natural gas and electric utilities here in Canada and in Puerto Rico. These 4 individuals are truly outstanding executives, and they exemplify ATCO's heart and mind. And I want you to know they have assembled terrific leadership teams that also share their commitment to excellence. And I know you'll enjoy their presentations this morning, so I will now turn it over to Katie Patrick.
Thank you, Nancy, and good morning, everyone. I'm pleased to speak with you about the financial performance of ATCO and the outlook ahead for enhanced success. Like all of you, I am a proud share owner. And my goal today is to provide you with a clear sense of our strong financial health and how we are managing our investments for long-term prosperity. Over the past few weeks, we've met with many of our institutional investors and analysts. These have been excellent conversations, providing our executive team the chance to share updates on our future plans and to listen to the questions from the financial community. Overall, we heard two main themes from investors and analysts. First, and not surprisingly, they wanted to hear what we are doing to drive value to shareholders and how we will unlock value in our share price. Secondly, but very related, they wanted to learn more about our growth plans in Canadian utilities and how we will allocate capital to finance the strong growth we have there. I expect that some of these same things are on your mind. Overall, we are seeing strong results from Structures and Neltume, and we are well positioned to fund the growth underway across our portfolio. You'll hear more about the businesses in the updates from Adam, Bob, and Wayne. Before I dive in on the financials, a moment of context. I love to share this snapshot of our company and the scale and size of our operation. We are fortunate to serve 4 million customers from a base of $25 billion in assets. We have a truly global resume with businesses, operations, and services that have spanned more than 100 countries. I heard a line from one of our institutional investors that I think honed very true. You're the biggest company that nobody has heard about. We've often been modest about our accomplishments, but when you look at this page, there is certainly a lot to be proud of. So this morning, I want to provide a broad overview of last year's financial performance and talk about our focus on growth. In 2023, ATCO achieved adjusted earnings of $432 million. This is an increase over the prior year, despite challenges caused by earnings pressure in our largest investment, Canadian utilities. Those of you who have been following our financial updates know that 2023 was a rebasing year in our Alberta regulated distribution businesses. Rebasing pressure compounded by Australian inflation indexing, which after increasing significantly in 2022, began to trend downward in 2023. So being able to deliver growth in earnings really reflects the effects of an incredibly positive year for ATCO Structures. Adam and his team impeccably executed their strategy to grow the base business and delivered adjusted earnings of $90 million, $29 million higher than 2022. I know CFOs are more comfortable using conservative adjectives like solid or stable or expected, but let's call a spade a spade. When you have results like this, you can start using words like incredible, amazing, and unprecedented. I'm also very pleased to share that Neltume Ports had a terrific year last year, with adjusted earnings jumping from $14 million to $22 million. Neltume increased ownership in a number of its existing ports and entered into a joint venture for the development of the Vancouver Bulk Terminal in Vancouver, Washington. And maybe this is where I can chat a little about the undervalued nature of Structures and Neltume. When you look at that $90 million of earnings for Structures, that translates into roughly $200 million of EBITDA, which is finance speak for cash flow. And even with a very conservative valuation, that translates into a valuation of the Structures business of $1.2 billion. Similarly, Neltume Ports' true value to ATCO is closer to $400 million. That's about $1.5 to $2 billion of value that we have been focused on getting the market to recognize. We often hear from the investment community that ATCO is just a cheaper way to gain access to our core investment, Canadian utilities. But we are working hard to change that narrative because honestly, ATCO is so much more than that. Not only have we operated in almost half of the countries in the world, but we've successfully invested and operated in a lot of businesses. We have a track record of skilled, long-term oriented investing. We have bought, sold, and started many successful businesses, including drilling, home building, IT, power generation, and more. We've really been increasing our messaging and discussion on this unrecognized value, and I can tell you that we are seeing some positive movement in the share price directly attributable to the value that Structures and Neltume brings to us. While there is more to do, since we have been focused on this message, we have seen the value in ATCO's share price outside of CU's ownership increase $185 million to the positive. Still a little more to go, but we're on our way. At last week's Canadian Utilities AGM, I said the top 3 things we are concerned about are growth, growth, and growth. And for ATCO, we are also seeking that growth, as well as continuing our long track record of returning dividends to shareholders. And when we look at our earnings for the start of this year, we can see we are executing well against this objective. ATCO recorded adjusted earnings of $148 million in Q1. This is $11 million, or 8% higher than Q1 of last year. This $11 million in growth came primarily from the strong performance of our structures business and the Alberta utility businesses. Structures delivered adjusted earnings of $25 million, 26% higher compared to the prior year. Structures is continuing to deliver growth from the expansion of our global-based business, with major projects being a supplement to these earnings. Adam will talk more about the structures business shortly. CU also had a strong start to the year, delivering adjusted earnings of $225 million in the first quarter. This is up 4% from the same period last year. ATCO Energy Systems results were driven by rate-based growth and increases in our allowed ROE from 8.5% to 9.28% across our Alberta-based utilities. Collectively, this more than offset the expected downwards earnings pressure associated with ongoing Australian inflation challenges I mentioned earlier. We did see a decline in ATCO EnPower's earnings compared to the same period last year. The energy storage business continues to show strong performance. However, renewable generation experienced lower earnings year over year because of a confluence of negative weather impacts. Finally, if you look at corporate costs, I would note we remain very focused on efficiencies and reductions in these corporate costs, and you can see the costs trending in the right direction. When we spoke to some of our large investors, they were very keen to hear how we were going to fund all this growth we are pursuing. I'm sure you have the same question. Our first source of capital is, of course, our internally generated cash flow we retain each year after interest and dividends. This is about $800 million at CU and about $280 million at ATCO. Beyond that, as you can see, we maintain a strong balance sheet and solid access to external capital supported by our investment-grade credit ratings. No doubt my friends here on the stage are making my job a lot harder, but financing this growth in a responsible and value-accretive manner is our highest priority. Before I close, I do want to reiterate that our continued commitment to delivering results goes hand in hand with our desire to be a force of good. These 6 strategic imperatives you see on the screen are the essence of what makes ATCO, ATCO. We are committed to being leaders in ESG, including our role in contributing to society's decarbonization targets. You will see copies of the sustainability report outside the room today, and I encourage you to take a look at our accomplishments. In closing, I'd like to leave you with 3 key messages. We are growing. We are not planning to grow or preparing strategies to grow. We are executing. We are laser focused on the funding to do this and financing this in a manner that creates value for our shareholders. And we are doing this with our core vision and values in mind, creating prosperity and opportunity for generations to come. And with that, I'd like to call Adam Beattie, President of ATCO Structures, to the stage to talk more about that business. A short video about ATCO Structures will play as he comes up.
At ATCO Structures, we believe shelter is a foundation for prosperity. As industry leaders worldwide, we innovate, manufacture, and build at a global scale. Our iconic yellow banded units and bold black logo are a symbol of reliability and quality, seen across construction sites and remote communities. From conception to design through to completion, our team of experts ensures seamless integration, offering unparalleled service and support. We're leading in modular design, reimagining spaces for working, learning, and living. At ATCO Structures, we don't just build essential shelters, we build communities.
Thank you, Katie. And certainly one thing I'm certain of is that our customers continue to value us. I'm so pleased to be here to speak with you about the opportunities and growth we see at ATCO Structures. It's truly an honour to lead ATCO's original company, and I too am a proud and excited shareholder. Our iconic yellow banded product and units are now an essential part of construction sites and infrastructure mega projects around the world. We design, build, and deliver modular structures to meet vastly growing applications such as classrooms, hospitals, single and multi-family houses, and hotels. The adoption of modular construction is increasing rapidly. From our 7 manufacturing locations strategically located around the world, we've supported 8 of the world's largest LNG projects and executed thousands of projects to the resource sector. We really do believe that modular buildings are the future of construction, not only for industrial and commercial applications, but also for residential applications. If there is one message I want you to take from my remarks today, it's ATCO's capabilities to supply a much-needed alternative to traditional construction is stronger than ever. Our space rentals business continues to be the backbone of our operations, a foundation that spreads across multiple countries and industries, that daily meets the needs of thousands of repeat customers we have amassed over decades of operations. The business is a consistent source of reliable revenue for us and provides a foundation to offer our products and services around the globe. We will continue to focus on and expand our operations of world-class fleet assets to meet temporary and permanent modular solutions needed around the world. And I want to be clear, we're not just at the starting line. Our plans of growth have been going on for some time. In just 6 years, we have more than doubled the size of our fleet from 13,000 units to 27,000 units, maintaining high utilisations and increasing our rental rates. We continue to invest a large portion of our capital per annum to maintain and grow our fleets. And to grow our reach, we've added 7 new branch locations last year across Australia, Canada, and the US, allowing us to strategically access new markets with our fleet business model. With the growth and retention of this rental customer base, the space rentals market continues to be a bright spot for ATCO Structures and provides leverage for our broader growth ambitions. One of those growth ambitions is our United States expansion. The US market has been a growth market for us. When it comes to our space rental business, in just 3 years, we have gone from 1 US client to more than 1,500 clients today. We have expanded from 1 branch location to 5 in this same time period. Our growth pathway in the US still has a lot of runway. We believe it is over a $10 billion marketplace, and we have been able to capture 1% of this market in just under 3 years. So there's a lot of room for us to continue to grow. Our ambition is to be as large, or if not larger, in the United States as we are in Canada and Australia. The potential and opportunities are definitely there for us. Residential is a new and exciting market for us. As I have said earlier, off-site construction is the emerging alternative to traditional construction methods globally. We continue to see growing demand for single and multi-family housing. Politically and socially, modular housing is being advocated as a necessary solution to the housing crisis. You might be asking yourself, what role can ATCO play in this? We believe we will play a big role in meeting society's needs for quality and affordable homes. You can see the size of the market here in Canada with the statistics on the slide. We are currently serving customers by delivering housing products to markets in Canada, the United States, and Australia. We've recently scaled up with the acquisition and integration of M Housing, the largest modular residential housing provider in Canada. We have delivered a number of multi-family and affordable housing projects for government and private customers across North America. Last year marked our first full year of operations with Triple M in the single-family housing sector. Compared to traditional stick-built homes, our homes are engineered to the highest standard, are affordable, and are significantly faster to market. We can produce high-quality homes in just 4 weeks, and with production capacity of up to 20 homes a week, we have the ability to build over 1,000 homes per annum, just servicing Western Canada. A traditional stick builder could only provide about 1/10 of this volume. We look forward to growing organically and through acquisitions, building on our ability to meet the needs for housing, and we will continue to excel in providing this new and expanded solutions to our customers in this new business line. We continue to be a leading builder in delivering large-scale workforce facilities that support the construction of mega projects throughout the world. And with camp services offered by ATCO Frontec, we can offer a fully integrated project solution for the life of a project. Our clients include such customers as BHP, Rio Tinto, Bechtel, Woodside, to just name a few. These are some of the biggest companies in the world working on the largest projects in the world and calling on us to house their people. We supply thousands of beds each year for workers around the world. LNG Canada's workforce accommodation facility, pictured here on the screen, is evidence of the scale and scope of what we deliver, on time and on budget. We will continue to be a trusted partner in providing workforce solutions around the world. I hope this provided you a taste of the growth prospects for ATCO Structures and the excitement we have for the future of this company. I lead an amazing team of dedicated and highly capable people, and I'm so proud and feel privileged to be a part of the ATCO family of companies. And I too am a shareholder, a proud shareholder. I look forward to standing here next year and sharing the exciting growth and accomplishments we have made with you all. With that, I'd like to invite Bob Myles, Chief Operating Officer of ATCO EnPower, to provide his remarks, and a short video about ATCO EnPower will play for you first. Thank you.
When people think about the future of energy, they think challenges. But at ATCO EnPower, we see opportunities. Opportunities for inspired energy solutions. Opportunities for companies to make real change. Opportunities to shape the energy transition. Opportunities to work together for a sustainable world. There may be a lot of energy challenges, but with ATCO EnPower's infrastructure, reach, and people, we can find solutions. We are ATCO EnPower, and we're empowering a brighter future.
Thank you, Adam. And I also am really pleased to be here today. I look forward to our discussion this morning. And I also, like everyone else on the stage, am a very proud shareholder. So let me begin by talking about ATCO EnPower and what we do. As Nancy indicated earlier, we have 3 business segments: energy storage, clean fuels, and renewable generation. These 3 business segments complement each other in ways that strengthen our platforms, support our existing and new customers, and do so in a cost-effective manner. Our capabilities in energy storage have the strong potential to leverage into renewables to make these offerings more efficient and more reliable through the use of battery storage. Likewise, our clean fuel business is complemented by our energy storage capabilities when we look towards large-scale hydrogen storage and carbon sequestration. With this robust offering, ATCO EnPower is leading the way in the energy transition with innovative power and energy solutions. We've had a great year in 2023 and have made strong advances towards our 2030 ambitions. By 2030, we will be operating 2,000 megawatts of renewable generation, producing and developing 600,000 tons per year of clean hydrogen and storing 200 petajoules of natural gas. This scale increase means that by 2030, ATCO EnPower will have grown multiple times over our 2023 levels with a multi-billion-dollar portfolio of assets, including hydrogen production and export. Clearly, we have a lot of ambitions between now and 2030. So how will we get there? Simply put, we are maintaining our laser focus on building on our core strengths as a sustainable energy producer, advisor, and advocate. We are leveraging our expertise and technology into a diversified North American portfolio across hydrogen, solar, wind, hydroelectric, natural gas, and energy storage. Let me zoom in on hydrogen for a moment. I know Wayne is going to speak about the growing energy demand in Fort Saskatchewan, and the same is true for hydrogen. While natural gas and natural gas liquids help meet today's energy and petrochemical demands, low-emission hydrogen will also be needed and is key to the energy future. To meet this demand, ATCO EnPower is developing a world-class hydrogen production facility, the Heartland Hydrogen Hub. This one facility is planned to produce more than 300,000 tons per year of low carbon intensity hydrogen, contributing to our 2030 ambitions of 600,000 tons per year. The scale of this endeavor will significantly advance Alberta's hydrogen strategy, generate substantial economic activity and jobs across our province, and make a sizable contribution to Canada's net zero ambition. I can tell you that the potential of this project is already attracting a lot of interest from potential partners both domestically and in Southeast Asia who want to take an equity position in this project alongside our company. We'll be making a final investment decision on this project in the next 12 months, with commercial operations targeted for 2029. Partnership is also at the core of our carbon sequestration efforts, which will assist Canada and Alberta in meeting their climate goals through underground CO2 storage. The Atlas Hub is an open access sequestration project being developed in partnership between ATCO EnPower and Shell Canada. The project will provide permanent sequestration of CO2 for industry, including from our own proposed hydrogen production facility. The first phase of this project is planned to be operational in 2026. Let me now turn to renewables. Last year, we acquired a portfolio of wind and solar assets and projects located in Alberta and Ontario that added 230 megawatts of operating wind assets to our existing operating assets and a 1.5 gigawatt renewable development portfolio in Canada. Our renewables capability also helps our other companies meet their own decarbonization goals. We signed a long-term agreement with Microsoft to purchase 150 megawatts of renewable energy from our 40-mile wind Phase 1 project in Alberta. We also entered into a partnership with Chiniki and Goodstoney First Nations, who now jointly own with us the Deerfoot and Barlow solar projects, which is Western Canada's largest urban solar installation. I have touched briefly on the areas of business within ATCO EnPower. I hope that you will agree that we are actively pursuing growth opportunities in North America, leveraging our expertise in Canada and in Mexico. We owe our continued success to the strong foundation of our company, our forward-looking leadership, with a dedicated team of professionals who bring their best each and every day. I'll now welcome my colleague, Wayne Stensby, our Chief Operating Officer of ATCO Energy Systems, to the podium. A brief video about Wayne's business will play while he comes up.
ATCO Energy Systems is more than just energy. It's warmth. It's dinner. It's your commute. It's the engine that powers opportunity. Without these systems, we don't work, eat, or connect, and we don't take that lightly. That's why we're fully committed to systems that are reliable, safe, and affordable. Systems that don't just support this generation, but generations to come. And as our customers change, so do we. We're investing in their needs across the globe. At ATCO Energy Systems, we're doing more than just providing energy. We're energizing life.
Well, good morning, and thank you very much, Bob. I too am a long-term proud share owner, and I'm very pleased to be in front of all of you today. ATCO Energy Systems is transforming our business to deliver sustained and predictable growth, and I'm very energized to take you through some of this morning. At ATCO Energy Systems, we serve over 3 million customers across North America through 7 regulated utilities. In Alberta, we have ATCO Electric Transmission and Distribution. We have ATCO Gas Transmission, sometimes referred to as ATCO Pipelines, and ATCO Gas Distribution. And further afield, of course, we have Yukon Electric and our newly branded NACA Power joint venture in the Northwest Territories. And, of course, our Luma Energy joint venture in Puerto Rico. And while there's much to talk about across all these operational areas, today I want to focus on how ATCO Energy Systems is energizing Alberta's growing economy by investing roughly $4.5 billion across the next 3 years into our 4 Alberta networks. You may have heard some of our exciting news from last week. In order to meet increasing energy demand, ATCO Energy Systems plans to build the Yellowhead Mainland project, a critical addition to our ATCO Pipelines integrated delivery system and a significant driver of lower carbon economic growth right here in Alberta. We will expand our ATCO Pipelines infrastructure to deliver up to 1 billion cubic feet per day of natural gas to the Heartland region just northeast of Edmonton, an area where our customers have collectively announced over $20 billion of new investment that requires natural gas supply. I'd like to thank Diego for being with us here this morning, President of Dow Canada, and one of those critical customers. Jason Sharp, President of our Gas and Pipelines business, has done a short video update for you on this project. Maybe we can see the video, please.
As Alberta continues to grow, so does the demand for energy. That's why ATCO is excited to announce the Yellowhead Mainline project. We are going to expand our natural gas network and reinforce the province's energy infrastructure, increasing access to the energy that the Alberta economy needs. This will also support the province and energy sector's long-term plans for low-carbon economic growth, underpinning net zero projects that utilize the carbon capture expertise that we are known for in Alberta, whether this is for petrochemicals, industrial, or even hydrogen demand. The Yellowhead Mainline project will be a significant driver of economic growth with the creation of thousands of jobs during construction. It will also support the energy required for the over $20 billion of investment in the province, ensuring a prosperous future for generations to come. ATCO is committed to delivering safe, reliable, and affordable energy that drives our economy forward.
That's great, Jason. Thank you to you and your team, and congratulations to getting us to the starting line. Now we just have to do it. Yellowhead is a great example of a project that's been driven by our customers investing in their own growth and driven by their own changing circumstances. And there's major growth right here in Alberta. We have economic expansion and population growth, as well as a business-friendly climate and a supportive regulatory framework. The recent completion of Trans Mountain is also great news for all of Canada and Alberta, and is another sign of robust growth into our future. This means that Alberta and Albertans will continue to use and require more energy into the years to come. And the big message that I would like to leave you with today is that our systems underpin growth and investment for our customers and for our province. And it's for that reason that over the next 3 years, we will be investing roughly $4.5 billion into our energy delivery systems.
Approximately 40% of that investment supports the growth of our customers, both new customers and expansions by existing customers. Our Central East Transfer Out 230 kV electrical transmission project that will move into construction later this year, and the Yellowhead Main Line are both clear examples of these types of investments. Another 50% of our investment is focused on reliability and resilience, including climate adaptation, and I want to speak about that in a moment. The remaining 10% will be invested in technology and decarbonization. Although these investments are all related, let me touch on the technology and decarbonization area for a moment. In energy systems, we think about modernization from a few perspectives. Our decarbonization efforts help Albertans achieve their net zero ambitions, and we believe that it's important that all customers in Alberta can benefit from advancements in decarbonization. Our world-leading work on hydrogen blending is one example where our utilities are uniquely positioned to be able to do this. On our technology investments, we use these to lower our operating costs and drive out efficiencies across our business. This allows us to keep a keen focus on affordability for our customers and is a very important part of our operational excellence approach. So on to reliability and resiliency. Our customers expect improved levels of reliability from their energy providers, even as we collectively face an increased number of climate-related events. I want you to think for a moment about last year's record wildfire season. There were more than 100 out-of-control wildfires in our Alberta and Northwest Territories communities and many large-scale evacuations. These wildfires were so devastating to so very many people. Now, let's pause for a moment and think only yesterday and today about all of those that are impacted in Fort McMurray and other parts of Western Canada, those that are evacuating yet again, and face the uncertainty as we sit here. Think for a moment about the severe and record-setting cold snap that we all faced back in mid-January. It caused record demand for natural gas and electricity in Alberta beyond anything we had ever seen in our past. It pushed our energy infrastructure to operate at the very extremes of its capability, and in some cases, frankly, a bit beyond. In both instances, and in all instances, the people of our company acted. They set up and they sustained a unified response with our communities and other first responders, and they truly went above and beyond. And I can't thank those teams and our teams enough for their efforts in responding to these events. These people are our heroes. They keep the lights on and the gas flowing so that our communities and our business and each of us can carry on with our very busy lives. And so while our teams are busy out there today with their response, we must also invest in our systems to make our infrastructure more reliable and more resilient. Simply put, our systems need to be adapted to better withstand and recover from these ever-increasing climate extremes. And it is for all of those reasons that we are investing 50% of the approximately $4.5 billion investment over the next 3 years on reliability and resilience. These investments are in areas like improving materials and standards that we use for electrical distribution structures, selectively undergrounding electrical distribution. We're continuing with our pipeline replacement programs and upgrading our infrastructure to use the very latest in integrity management tools and techniques. The reliability and the security of energy is fundamental to creating an environment where people can live and economies can grow. Essential energy, it's key to our economy and our quality of life, and it's our job at ATCO Energy Systems to deliver it every hour of every day throughout the year. Now, last month, we unveiled a powerful new name and brand for our joint venture with the Denendeh Investments Incorporated in the North. Our electricity business in the Northwest Territories is now called NACA Power. Formerly Northland Utilities, NACA Power has been a partnership between the Dene people and ATCO for more than 35 years. And today, we are truly equal partners, 50-50. Our partnership has enabled the Dene people to invest in Indigenous organizations and initiatives that contribute to a sustainable economic and social development in the North. And for me, this is a clear example of reconciliation. It is meaningful to myself, to our team, and to all of us here at ATCO. And with that, I would like to turn it back to our Chair and CEO, Nancy Southern. And as she comes up, we will share a brief video about the NACA Power name and what it means to the communities where we serve. Thank you.
In most Dene dialects, Naka is a word for describing the Northern Lights. The lights that connect and light up our communities across the territory. For over 70 years, we have been connecting communities, forging partnerships, powering essentials. Just as the Northern Lights have illuminated the night and inspired generations of people, we're here to light the way forward as we embark on a new chapter in our history. We are proud to honor our equal partnership with a new name, NACA Power, a symbol of our shared commitment to the prosperity of the North. NACA Power, lighting up the North.
Thank you, Wayne. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you are as proud as I am of the terrific initiatives and true partnerships that we've been developing. And you know, over this past weekend, as I marveled at the purples and the greens, the pinks and the red of the Northern Lights, I was truly thrilled at the prospect of sharing our future with you today. I'd like to congratulate Wayne and Melanie Bailey at ATCO Electric and their teams for nurturing and enabling this wonderful partnership, NACA Power. And to all of our executives for advancing the critical imperative of true reconciliation across Canada. Throughout our operations, we maintain 55 partnerships and relationship agreements with Indigenous communities. And over the past 5 years, these partnerships have generated over $440 million in terms of net economic benefits to the First Peoples of Canada from coast to coast to coast. These partnerships are the beacons of economic reconciliation in action. And I dare say, there is no other company in Canada that has been able to accomplish this reconciliation initiative like ATCO. Together, we are illuminating the path for the rest of industry and fostering a sense of unity and mutual growth in Indigenous communities. And I'm very proud to work with all the amazing people of your company as they work on reconciliation and the work that they have done over the course of this past year. I hope you share this pride with me. In each of the jurisdictions that we serve, Canada, the Arctic, Latin America, Mexico, the Caribbean, the United States, and Australia, we're investing in and delivering the essential services needed for lasting shared prosperity. Whether by providing shelter, delivering energy, supporting national defense, or enabling global trade, our companies are the backbone, as you heard, for industries and communities around the world. And in Alberta and Western Australia in particular, our prospects are buoyed by economic and demographic trends that have enabled these jurisdictions to push through the economic headwinds of the past few years. Robust commodity prices, industrial capital investment, and leading population growth have allowed these regions to surpass their national peers and counterparts, demonstrating the crucial role of resource-based economies in fostering national wealth. We must not forget that. And as these jurisdictions' populations and economies continue to expand, so will their demand for ATCO's suite of services. In essence, the ATCO group of companies are at the epicenter of economic and industrial growth, and we are already seizing the opportunities that come our way. And in closing, I would like to thank this terrific team of executives and to our board of directors for your expertise, your wisdom, and your guidance. Over this past year, it has been sterling. And to you, our share owners, our partners, our friends and family, thank you. And to those of you on the webcast, thank you for joining us. And thanks for your ongoing trust and support. I would like to open the floor for any questions or comments that you might have now. And I believe Norm and Andrew are ready with questions. So our concierge ladies will offer you a microphone if you wish. Andrew.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for taking my question. Mine tend to be really simple and ordinary, but still, I really enjoy asking them, and I hope they're of some general interest. Now, I was wondering about political change in the countries that you work in. For example, in the U.S., they're having elections coming up in November, and in Canada over time, we also have elections every so often, whether federally, provincially, or at city levels. So how do those changes in political leadership, and therefore changes in policy, impact ATCO? I'm sure they impact ATCO as they do many other businesses. Thanks.
Thank you, Andrew, and it's a terrific question. It's, you're absolutely right. Policy changes, legislative changes, regulatory changes do have a big impact on us and other businesses. I think the important role that ATCO feels it should play is to offer policy and policymakers, decision makers in government, a unbiased view of what is best for Canada or the region or the city, as it may be. And I believe that business cannot participate in partisanship. We have to be able to adapt, be timely and flexible in the execution of our operations, regardless of who's in office at the political level. Our job is to make sure that the people of our regions, where we have operations and facilities, have future opportunities. That's my key responsibility, is to make sure this company goes on through the generations, that the people working in this company, that their children and their grandchildren will have opportunities to work for a true Canadian company. And that may sound a little bit like motherhood, but as I am a mother, so I guess it does. That's the most important thing. We have a group of individuals that understand our businesses, but not just our businesses. You know, we're not an oil and gas producer, and yet we truly understand the importance of oil and gas for this country, for this province, for all our businesses in Canada. And we have to find that balanced approach with real facts, not emotive, knee-jerk reactions, to demonstrate why we should be proceeding in a certain way. Now, there's always going to be challenges and tensions about what we think is best versus what the party in place may think is best. But I believe that we've been able to manage. I believe we've been able to thrive as a result of just being honest and credible and speaking out about how we feel and what we believe is important for this country. And that's number one, Andrew. And yes, we have certain, well, you saw, regulatory impacts in Katie's financials show that every 4 or 5 years, we have a reset of our gas utilities. That's an impact that actually is beneficial and not it's hard for share owners to recognize that the earnings go down in a year when we have a reset. But it's important that that the customers of our utilities, the ratepayers of our utilities, understand that that goes back to you as a customer. It does impact the share price in some ways, but that's how our business operates. And there's always going to be give and take. And I think our executives just stay true to our North Star with respect, credibility, and fact-based initiatives. We continue to surpass and outperform and surprise most naysayers. That was a long-winded way of saying, how do we deal with it? As I said, I am a mother. That is motherhood. Thanks, Andrew. Norman?
Yeah, first of all, Sharon and myself are very thankful to have met many of the Southerns and had a great privilege. We're glad to be ATCO and Canadian Utilities shareholders. They've done well for us. But my question is, I looked at the energy thing. Now governments have really become backward in Canada on making sure we're electrified in every manner. And we see different responses. Alberta and Saskatchewan now are talking nuclear. And I guess my question is ATCO going to some way, I know hydrogen is important in that, but is ATCO some way going to take a look at that kind of thing to increase wealth?
Norm, I think nuclear is definitely a part of the energy mix in the future. And yes, short answer is yes. We are still in Canada, governments, provincial, federal, and municipal governments have not really addressed or dealt with the finer details of installing nuclear. Ontario's way ahead of the pack, and we need to quickly follow. Our initiatives in nuclear, any initiative in nuclear, is going to take some time to build. And there's no silver bullet in the energy transition. We're going to need everything. We do need natural gas. And I am a firm believer that oil and natural gas are going to not be dinosaurs where they came from. They're not going to become dinosaurs again. They're going to be part of the energy mix, along with nuclear, along with hydrogen, along with solar and wind, hydroelectricity. Kim Sturgis is here, who is one of the preeminent individuals, understands water flows and conservation of water, and we are going to have to use all of these sources of energy in the future. And we want to be a part of all of those sources. And so while we haven't talked about nuclear, Bob didn't talk about nuclear in his portfolio, it's definitely a discussion that we're having. And we've been having discussions with a couple of the different provinces about how to site nuclear in the future. Anything else? May I just offer, this is something that Roger Irwin, our lead director at Canadian Utilities, suggested, and we actually implemented last year. I think it would be interesting for many of you, our share owners, to see some of our actual installations. And so if you'd like to have a tour of, for example, the hydrogen hub in Fort Saskatchewan, or if you'd like to see the manufacturing plant that Adam has here in Calgary, or go out to the DC, Eastern Alberta Transmission Line Converter Station. Wayne, Bob, and Adam would be more than happy to organize site tours for any of you so that you can actually see the physical assets that you own. And so I'm going to encourage anybody that wants to do that just to leave your name at the front desk or just send us a note and we'll organize a tour either in the fall this year, depending on your schedules, or perhaps in the springtime next year, prior to the next AGM. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this 57th Annual General Meeting. And as we wrap up, I have, again, a little video for you to close our meeting on. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, and let's keep Fort McMurray and Grand Prairie, Taylor Flats, Fort McMahon in our thoughts and prayers, that they will not experience true devastation like in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, this is ATCO.
This is ATCO. We've gone from family-owned trailer company to this, and this, and this, and a lot of this. Our past? Impressive. But our future? Even better. We're building growth across sectors, making accessible housing more affordable, leading the way in the energy transition, making economic reconciliation part of our everyday, creating welcoming workplaces for everyone, and working as a community to give back to our communities. There's a lot to be proud of, but even more to look forward to.
In the foyer, and thank you again for coming.